Hello crafty friends, welcome to today's video. Yesterday I spent a very pleasant morning making lots of little envelopes out of tealy green and brown scrapbook papers. My plan is to use them on cards today, but I thought I'd start by showing you the dies and how I constructed the envelopes. Some of them are incredibly straightforward. This is, it says Journey Blooms. And all you have to do is fold the flaps in and add some glue to hold them in place. And you get a little mini envelope, perfect every time. This one just cuts an envelope sort of outline shape, but it has got a little cut line here. So you get some embossed lines here and a cut line here. So you get a slit that you can poke things through. But what I found is that the pattern here just matches the pattern here, obviously, because it's just cut from one piece, and you can't really tell what it is, if you see what I mean. So I've cut one from white, and what I've been doing with this die is popping another die cut through the little slit, so you get this white area here, and you can just snip off this overhanging bit or underhanging and glue that together, so now it looks a bit more envelopey. Similarly with this one, now I've done a bit of research and I think this is a hunky-dory moonstone die that was a freebie given away with a magazine. I picked it up at a charity shop, and what it does, it cuts this envelope, and this bottom flaps, I don't know why, and then you've got two little cut lines here and here that don't flap. No idea why. This has confused me to the moon and back, this one. And I can't find any information about it online. I've done a Google image search of the die. I've asked in Facebook groups, and no one's been able to make me any wiser. So what I've done with this, I've just snipped through there. So now this bit can go behind, and I've cut a white piece, and like I did with the other one, I can just pop it in there and glue it together, and now it looks a little bit more like an envelope. This die also cuts a little rectangle with stitches on it, which I'm guessing is supposed to be a letter. But if you know how to use this die properly, then do let me know, because I would love to figure it out. This one, I don't know where I got this from, probably a charity shop, but again, it cuts an envelope net, I think is the word, isn't it? When you fold things to make something, you get a net. And that's, instead of four pointy corners, it's got a flat bit there, but that's obviously an envelope. And then these two, I do have a video in which I've used these, and I have used the slit that it cuts. I'll link to that down below, just in case you're interested in using them for that purpose. But you can just use them as little envelopes. Again, you just fold the flaps in and glue them in place and ignore the little slit. And there are two sizes of these. When it comes to gluing these, I tend to use high-tack, all-purpose, very sticky glue, because it keeps things in place. So I just put a little bit on my glue spreader, add a little bit to the edges of the flaps, whichever way around you want to glue them, and hold them in place. And maybe just put an acrylic block or something heavy on top so that they don't spring back open. So this is the hunky-dory tricky one. Just pop a little bit of glue on the back of the white insert and insert it like that. Get it lined up how I want it, and then pop some under the little corners of the flaps and just press those down, and that should be fairly sturdy once everything's got glue on it. This one really just need a little bit of glue under the white bit like that. Hold that in place. So they should all be pretty well stuck now. Doesn't take long for that glue to dry. And they can go in my box of envelopes. I've made myself a bunch of 5x7" card blanks. I've gone for a slightly larger size than I usually do so that I can get plenty of envelopes on my card. And I've used hammered textured white cardstock because I'm really enjoying it at the moment. I do think it gives cards quite a luxurious feel. I've sorted all my envelopes out into their different pattern papers. I made these from pattern paper scraps. Making little die cuts like this is a great way to use up your paper scraps. For my first card, I want to add a strip of inking as a foundation for my envelopes. So I'm going to mask off an area and I'm going to use a shaded lilac, which is a lovely lilac colour, as you might imagine, and add a gentle blush of it over this area here. And I've chosen shaded lilac because I do like tealy green and purple together, but these envelopes here are a bit purpley, so I think it will work. Just peel that back a bit. Yeah, we're getting a bit of colour there. I'm not sure how opaque I want this to be, so I'm just gradually building up the colour. So I'll peel that off. I'm going to keep this because this tape is great for reusing. I'm wondering about adding some metallic hand-drawn stitching just on the inside of both sides of my purple strip. Right, I like that. I think that's quite delicate. Quite happy with that. Now I'm going to start with the biggest envelope. There are two big ones really. That one and that one. But I think I'll use this one to start with. And this I made with a double-sided pattern paper, so it's got a nice floral on the inside. And I'm wondering about this teeny tiny little purpley one there. Open or closed, I'm not sure yet. And maybe a brown one. Maybe we'll use a small brown one and a slightly larger purple one. I like that. Yeah, I'm liking that. So I think I'll stick those down. I'll have this one closed. So I'll just add a little drop of glue there. A little drop of glue on the back. And I'm going to punch some hearts. I always keep my little heart punches to hand. I'm going to dip these little hearts in some glue, maybe 3 big ones and 3 small ones, or 2 small ones, and have them kind of fluttering out of the envelope. For my sentiment, I've chosen a thinking of you. I think this is quite a thoughtful card, not too bright and bold and in your face, so I think it would work as a sending love or a thinking of you type card. Just put some shaded lilac on my stamp. This is a silicone stamp, and I find I get better results stamping with Distress Oxides when I apply the ink with a sponge dauber. Could do it in gold. That would look nice. And there you have a thinking of you card made with these little envelope die cuts. I like the way that's turned out. What I'm going to do now is off camera do the same kind of thing on my other card blanks, and I'll come back in a tick and show you how they all turned out. And I'm back. I've still got quite a few envelopes left over, but I think I'm done with this particular project for now. I'll keep those and use those maybe in scrapbooking or journaling, I think. So that's the card that I made on camera. And this is the next card. Instead of masking off a band, I masked off this area and blended the shaded lilac on a little heavier. I did spatter on some teal metallic paint and then added 3 envelopes with hearts fluttering out of them again. I did some stitching and wobbly lines with the gold gel pen, and Stamped Just For You nestles nicely in there. And here's card number 3. I masked off a kind of cone area, did the spattering and the gold gel pen, and then a cascade of envelopes in different patterns and different sizes with hearts. And I did the thinking of you stamp again, but I stamped it on a bit of card. And to help it stand out and give it a bit of an edge, I just ran around the edge with a sponge dauber that's got some shaded lilac on it, like that. For card number 4, I went very clean and simple again. I did a horizontal band, gold faux stitching, 3 envelopes arranged around this central large one, got a bit of hierarchy going on there, and I added a larger heart here and then 2 smaller hearts to the sealed envelopes, and a simple thank you just there. So really clean and simple, lots of white space. For card number 5, I put my vertical strip over to the right hand side, but I made it thinner, and I did take the masking tape off before I did my spattering because I wanted my spattering to escape from this narrow band. I added a higgledy-piggledy line of envelopes up the card and gave them each a little heart. This one in the middle I gave a larger heart and nestled that just for you in there. That's a really nice stamp for nestling, that one. So the penultimate card isn't clean and simple at all. I masked off a rectangle and I went in quite heavy-handed with the shaded lilac. I wanted it quite deep. Added stitching, added spattering, took the masking tape off, and then added a cascade of envelopes. Only this one is open and it's got some hearts fluttering out. These are all closed with a little heart sealing them. And I added 3 of the dark brown ones to create a kind of visual triangle that encompasses everything. And I added a thank you again on a piece of card that I'd edged with the sponge dauber. And this is our 7th and final card. It's the one I'm least happy with. To add my shaded lilac, I didn't use any masking tape at all. I just gently blended on an area to create a circular blush of colour. I then took my gel pen and free-handed some really wobbly wonky circles. And my gel pen didn't really want to work very well. And also my wobbly handedness was a bit too wobbly. It's not very circular. That's what I'm least happy with. I think I like the blending, the spattering, the stamping, the envelopes, the hearts, but I don't really like the gold circle that I put in the background. But you don't know until you try, do you? And for a sentiment, I stamped "Get well soon" directly beneath. So that's 7 cards made from my envelope making session. I hope this video has given you some ideas that you can use in your own paper crafting. If it has, do let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and I'll see you back here very soon for another video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.